Good morning. I decided to do my blog on Scheninger's 7 pillars that lead to digital leadership. And even more so, before we get to those, one of his first headings was the call. And it's kind of how that translates into we need leaders to step up. He's calling leaders to do everything they can to set a positive environment for learning and growth, and Jesus did the same thing. He called his disciples. He's calling us to go out and be the leaders that we need to be. And this has facets, different ways, and a lot of that has to deal with, to me, the first 3 pillars: communication, public relations, and branding, all kind of fall in line with the communication aspect. Communication, we've got to change our methods, and it's such a quickly evolving world in technology that our methods of communicating to our parents, to our students, and to our peers is changing rapidly, and we must embrace that and acknowledge that and find ways to engage in different ways to communicate. John Gordon, in his book Power of Positive Leadership, he's one of my favorite authors, but he just said communications build trust, and when you can build trust, you build positive relationships that help create an environment that's conducive for effective learning. The public relations and the branding all is about creating a positive spin that you want to tell your story, that you want to sell, to create a public perception of your school and of what you're trying to get across. If you don't spin it, somebody else will. And so we must sit out to seek ways to communicate not only to our interior, inside our family, but also outside our school family, to create the perception to have other people want to be a part of us. Once we do that, hopefully that's going to affect the students involved that come to our school, that they want to come with a positive attitude of learning. But then we got to have student engagement and training and learning and using these tools. They're growing up in a society where they're so used to the technology, the social media. We got to engage those aspects of real life for them and have them be able to use them in specific ways of learning. Another way that we can affect and set a standard for them is through professional growth and development. Another one, his 5th pillar. PLN, personal learning networks, are important for us as educators to learn from other people's experiences, and using this aspect, whether through Twitter, which we're trying to do now, or other methods, we need to set that standard so students realize that it's okay to reach out and try to learn from others. Don't just use their technology as a way to what they consider their communication, but also use it as a learning tool and learning device. And finally, the last thing a good leader to do is got to set a standard of using the space they have, maximizing the space they have within their school facilities, maximizing their curriculum to make more opportunities, and be thinking ahead, being able to seek improvements, thinking ahead, preparing, anticipating problems that may come up. But all this is part of a good leadership scheme, and it doesn't change for digital leadership. Jesus called us. Jesus gave us a blueprint by using parables and stories on how to communicate. Now it's up to us to go out and try to utilize that to be the best educators we can. Thank you.